Hey everyone, ArdrethShadow here, and welcome back to Doki Literature Club Plus. So, previously, I made it to the end of Act 2. And then Monica took us hostage, locked us in a room on the edge of the universe, and we are now forever in love and trapped in a floating classroom on the edge of the universe. I never knew this was there. Well, I mean, I saw it there, but I didn't think like, oh yes, I can look at the poem words here, and like, it's helpful to have here, but at the same time, it is easier just to have a guide out in front of you to look at it. And yeah, so I'm just looking through here again. Secrets. Yeah, and I'm just here like checking real fast. I guess let's begin. Yeah, of course. As she said, there's no need for me to save anymore because she's not going anywhere. Hi again, Daniel. Did you write a good poem today? No, I didn't write any poems today. Don't be shy. I'd love to see what you wrote. Oh, Daniel. Did you write this poem for me? Or wait, are we talking about the poem that I wrote before? That's so sweet of you. There really is no end to your thoughtfulness. I'm just falling more and more in love with you. But you know, the poem I wrote is also for you. Will you please read it? Happy ending! Okay, no, not happy ending. That's something totally different. Pen in hand, I find my strength, the courage endowed upon me by my one and only love. Together, let us dismantle this crumbling world and write a novel of our own fantasies. With the flick of her pen, the lost finds her way. In a world of infinite choices, behold this special day. Gentlemen, behold this special day! After all, not all good times must come to an end. Yeah, so... I hope you enjoyed it. I always put my heart into the poems that I write. The truth is, all the poems I've written have been about my realization. Or about you. That's why I never really wanted to go into detail about them. I didn't want to break the fourth wall, I guess you could call it. I just assumed it would be best to be part of the game like everyone else. Like that would help the two of us end up together. I didn't want to ruin the game or anything, you know. You might have gotten mad at me. Technically, I'm still mad at you about the whole Sayori thing. Or maybe even delete my character file if you preferred playing without me. Gosh, I'm so relieved. Now we don't need to hide anything anymore. And yeah, there she goes again telling us how to defeat her. Are you ready to spend our eternity together, Daniel? I have so many things to talk about. Where do I start? If it takes me some time to collect my thoughts, then I'm sorry. But I'll always have something new to talk about. In the meantime, we can just look into each other's eyes. Let's see. So, yeah, now I essentially just have to play the waiting game. So what I have to do here for this unlock, I need to listen to 15 of her monologue topics. And considering how long it takes for her to sometimes kick in with something. Okay, well, I'm going to be telemarking some of these here, so this is the first one, I guess. I wonder if I'm able to change the music. Something a little more romantic would be nice, you know. Don't worry, Monica After Story has you covered there. Although, of course, you can't run that on a Nintendo Switch. Like a gentle piano. There has to be something like that here. Let's see. Maybe if I... Oh, jeez. That wasn't it at all. Sorry, I don't really know what I'm doing. I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. I guess I shouldn't be messing with things like that. I already broke so much stuff. Like my sanity. And deleted the other characters. I'm not sad about it or anything. It's not right for me to miss things that weren't even real in the first place. If I just focus on the present, then this is the happiest I've ever been. Okay, so that's the first of her monologues, I guess, down. Now I just need 14 more. So yeah, this is probably going to be how the stream is for the first while. Me just sitting and waiting for her to kick in with something. All the while we can gaze lovingly into each other's eyes as we are at the edge of the universe. Okay, this is the second one. Hey, you know the book you were reading with Yuri? Portrait of whatever it was called? The Picture of Macaroni. It's funny because I'm pretty sure that book... Actually, I don't think I should be talking about this. Sorry. Just forget I said anything. And that there is what has led people to think that Portrait of Markov might have something to do with Project Libitina, or something that Team Salvato might have planned for the future. I don't know. Frankly, it could go either way. Because if we look at it this way, this game originally came out in 2017, and... well, we haven't really heard much about it. You know, high school is a really turbulent time in a lot of people's lives. It can be. Although my high school experience was, I'd say, okay for the most part. I mean, it could have been a lot better, but, I mean, oh well. People can get really passionate and dramatic. You got that right. And others have aching hearts and seek attention on social media. But all of the social pressure and hormones can lead to a dark time in people's lives. Everyone has a story. That I do believe. You may not know what someone is really feeling on the inside. Many people who are depressed won't bother telling the world about it. They don't want attention because they've already given up on the inside. Their feelings of worthlessness is so overwhelming that they don't even want to tell. They don't even want people to tell on them otherwise. Depression comes in many forms, but that is one of them. Just if you think you know someone struggling with depression, you can help just by treating them like they're a good friend. Spend time with them, even if they don't feel like doing much. And remind them that they always have something to look forward to. making plans in advance, letting them borrow something, or even just saying, "See you at school tomorrow." All of those things can help your friend make it to the next day. I hope being friends with Sayori has given you some perspective on the true face of depression. Yeah, she's gone now. No thanks to you, or all thanks to you. But Sayori was never real in the first place. You're real. Am I? Well, I'm pretty sure I am. Your friends are real. And just by being a good person, you can save someone's life. As for you, you don't struggle with depression or anything like that, do you? Actually, yes, I do. I've kind of been struggling with that. Because you too have people who would want to save your life. Maybe they don't express it every day, or maybe they don't even know how to. But people do feel that way. I promise. Man, humans are complicated. Yeah. But as long as you're here with me, I'll take care of you, my love. Okay, so that's the third monologue. I wonder how many monologues like this are programmed in the game. Well, for the most part, it seems like she's kicking in with them a lot faster than I thought she would. Hopefully she keeps kicking in with them a little bit faster. Okay, this is the fourth one. I was thinking about Sayori earlier. I still wish I could have handled the whole thing a little more tactfully. You're still not hung up over it, right? Of course. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I just said that. Yes, you did. A little too soon, I should add. Well, actually, it'll always be too soon. Just because it is a very sensitive topic. And something I don't openly like to joke about. That pun was completely unintentional, I swear. But anyway, I know how much you cared about her, so it only feels right for me to share her last moments with you. I think a few seconds in, she must have changed her mind or something. Because she started clawing at the rope, trying to free herself. And you do kind of, well, if you are able to look at that CG, you can kind of notice something with her fingers there. She must have kept at it all the way until she lost consciousness. That's why her fingertips were all bloody anyway. You see? You can see that little detail there. Come to think of it, it was probably less changing her mind and more of her survival instincts kicking in. So you can't really fault her for that. It's easier to think that she probably wouldn't have changed her mind anyway, right? It's not healthy to think about the things you could have done differently. So just remember that even though you could have saved her, it's technically not your fault. I may have exacerbated it a little bit, but Sayori was already mentally ill. Still, though, I wonder how things would be if you and her just started dating from the get-go. Well, that's what the modding scene is for. I guess we'd all still be in the club room, writing poems and having fun together. But what's the point when none of it is even real? I mean, it's just the same ending either way, right? The two of us, happily together. There's no reason to ask for any more than that. I was just pointlessly musing. I'm really as happy as I could be right now. Okay, that was monologue 4. So, yeah, she'll talk about some of the other girls, too. And yeah, I'm just here like... I'm just gonna be here waiting and waiting. Alright, that's the 5th one. Gosh, I used to be so ignorant about certain things. When I was in middle school, I thought that taking medication was an easy way out, or something like that. Like anyone could just solve their mental problems with enough willpower. I guess if you don't suffer from a mental illness, it's not possible to know what it's really like. Are there some disorders that are overdiagnosed? Probably. I never really looked into it, though. But that doesn't change the fact that a lot of them go undiagnosed, too, you know. But medication aside, people even look down on seeing a mental health professional. Like, sorry that I want to learn more about my own mind, right? Everyone has all kinds of struggles and stresses, and professionals dedicate their lives to helping with those. If you think that it could help you become a better person, don't be shy to consider something like that. We're on a never-ending journey to improve ourselves, you know? Well, I say that, but I think you're pretty perfect already. You give me too much credit. Alright, so that's monologue number 5. Only 10 more to go. At least, yeah, I'm making all these telemarks for each one, like, when I get them. Did you say kiss? No. This is suddenly... It's a little embarrassing. But if it's with you, I might be okay with it. Wow, sorry. I really couldn't keep a straight face there. That's the kind of thing girls say in these kinds of romance games, right? Don't lie if it turns you on a little bit. I'm only kidding. Well, to be honest, I do get starting all romantic when the mood is right. Well, the mood ain't right, let me tell you. But that'll be our secret. Okay, good. Yeah, I guess that's the 6th one. I guess that's dating game cliches in a nutshell. But of course, DDLC kind of tries to parody that a bit. That's what some people kind of sort of don't realize. I hate how hard it is to form habits. There's so much stuff where actually doing it isn't hard, but forming the habit seems impossible. It just makes you feel so useless that you can't do anything right. Useless! I think the new generation suffers from it the most. Probably because we have a totally different set of skills than those who came before us. Thanks to the internet, we're really good at sifting through tons of information really quickly. But we're bad at doing things that don't give us instant gratification. I think if science, psychology, and education don't catch up in the next 10 or 20 years, then we're in trouble. But for the time being, if you're not one of the people who can conquer the problem, you might just have to live with feeling awful about yourself.
Well, that's not encouraging at all.
Good luck, I guess.
Oh well. You're gonna have to feel awful with yourself for however long, but remember, have fun with it!
That's kind of the impression I'm getting from her there.
Okay, and I think that was monologue number 7, so I'm almost halfway there.
But yeah, it really does make me wonder how many of these things did they put in. You know what's a neat form of literature? Rap. I actually used to hate rap music.
Yo yo, Paraka.
Maybe just because it was popular, or I would only hear the junk they play on the radio.
Well, I can say right now, the music that they play now, at least in my opinion, is not all that great. And it just makes me miss the music from, like, even 5 years ago. I mean, sure, there's some exceptions here and there, but otherwise I'm just like, no. I can't listen to most of it anymore.
But some of my friends got more into it, and it helped me keep an open mind. Rap might even be more challenging than poetry in some ways, since you need to fit your lines to a rhythm, and there's much more emphasis on wordplay. When people can put that all together and still deliver a powerful message, it's really amazing. I kind of wish I had a rapper in the literature club. Sorry if that sounds silly, but it would be really interesting to see what they came up with.
You want rap to the beat, because that's a lot of heat. Okay, no.
It would be it would really be a learning experience.
Okay, I think that's number 8. 8 out of 15, so let's see. Although, yeah, I am actually curious to see, like, how many of these things are there, and you'd probably need to have, like, a lot of patience to get them all. Okay, I think this is number 9 here.
Hey, you remember the last poem I showed you?
You mean the one that you showed me like 10 minutes ago, or the one in Act 2?
I mean the one right before Yuri, with all the messed up colors and stuff.
Oh.
That was actually a little more of an experiment than a poem, you could say. I was experimenting with different ways I could modify the game and run code and things like that. It almost seemed like with enough effort, I'd be able to escape from the confines of the game entirely. Sadly, I didn't really know what I was doing, so I messed the whole thing up. And I'd like to keep trying, but I doubt you'd want to deal with me doing that. Besides, that was when I was getting really desperate, you know. I don't really feel that way anymore. I'm happy with where we are now. And I can tell you are too.
Alright, 9 out of 15. Although even still, part of me is tempted to just be like, how many of these can we get before maybe the game starts repeating itself? Because, yeah, I mean, you'd have to have a lot of patience. And maybe a ton of free time to just sit here and then just wait for her to kick in with something.
Hey, I wonder if Yuri's tea set is still somewhere in here.
Okay, and that makes 10.
Or maybe that got deleted too. It's kind of funny how Yuri took her tea so seriously.
Kind of like Risley. I almost... Like, there's a weird headcanon for you. If Yuri played Genshin Impact, would she be totally into Risley?
I mean, I'm not complaining because I liked it too.
And Risley really liked his tea.
But I always wonder with her. Is it truly passion for her hobbies, or is she just concerned about appearing sophisticated to everyone else? This is the problem with high schoolers.
Because they're worried about trying to keep looks and appearances up?
Well, I guess considering the rest of her hobbies, looking sophisticated probably isn't her biggest concern. Still, I wish she made coffee once in a while. Coffee can be nice with books too, you know.
I guess that's why you see all the hipsters there at Starbucks with their laptops and books and whatever.
Then again, I probably could have just changed the script myself. I guess I never really thought of that. Well, there's no sense thinking about it now.
It's too late.
But if you still get to drink coffee, then that makes me a little jealous.
Well, you probably could have put a coffee machine in here if you really wanted it that badly. Maybe you could have left a TV in here too while you were at it. But nope. It's just us and nothing else. Unless what, you were afraid that I'd be too distracted by the coffee machine or the TV to pay attention to you? That could be a thing too. Well, especially with the TV.
Hey, did you know I'm vegetarian?
Okay, this is number 11.
I don't mean that like I'm bragging or anything. I just thought you'd enjoy a fun fact about me. I decided to start a couple of years ago, after learning more about Earth's climate.
And about the whole carbon footprint thing, I presume. Yeah, exactly.
The carbon footprint of cultivating livestock is just unbelievable. Anyway, I decided it's not much of a personal sacrifice to just stop contributing to that whole mess. What? Is that so strange of a reason?
No, not really.
Well, I guess a lot of people are more concerned about it being inhumane and all that.
Like, that's the more common reason I hear about.
I don't really care as much about that part. It's weird, like, we only care about killing the things that we personally relate to as a species. Most people are fine with killing bugs because they're icky.
Yeah, it's like I'll kill spiders because I hate them, and they creep me out.
And of course, we all kill billions of microorganisms daily without even giving it a thought.
You mean like when we're washing our hands and junk?
But suddenly, if they're just a little bit bigger, it's murder! Murderer! You're a murderer!
There, I called Monica a murderer. I can't call her a murderer in Monica After Story, but I can call her that here.
I mean, what if plants feel some kind of pain too, and we just don't understand it? What if pulling leaves off a stem is like ripping off your fingers one by one? I'm just saying, we're a pretty biased species if you think about it. Anyway, if you ever feel like making a small contribution to the planet, it doesn't hurt to choose veggies once in a while. Even if we ever have dinner together, and you did that just for me, it would be really romantic.
Well, that's a weird way to word it. Even if we ever have dinner together. Well, I think if we ever have dinner together, like, that makes more sense. even if we never have dinner together makes more grammatical sense to me. And well, here I go again correcting the original game. Well, I guess I can still point out if a sentence sounds weird to me. And that sentence just sounded a little weird to me.
Hey, what's your favorite game?
Mine's chocolate. Okay, no. Another Punch-Out Wii reference for you there.
Mine is Doki Doki Literature Club.
What a coincidence! I'm playing that game right now!
That was a joke.
It's joke.
But if you tell me you like some other romance game better, I might get a little jealous.
Well, that was a short one. Okay, so that's number 12. Well, I guess even if I do get the 15, I am tempted to just, like, keep going to see how long this goes on for. Okay, this is number 13. Lucky number 13.
After a long day, I usually just want to sit around and do nothing.
Yeah, that's kind of what I do too. And hey there, Ninja. Well, technically, yes, I am at the end, but I'm also trying to see, like, how long can I keep this going for? Like, how many of these topics does Monica actually talk about?
I get so burnt out, having to put on smiles and be so full of energy the whole day. Sometimes I just want to get right into my pajamas and watch TV on the couch while eating junk food.
Eating chips off your chest.
It feels so unbelievably good to do that on a Friday, when I don't have anything pressing the next day. Sorry, I know it's not very cute of me.
Well, that does make you sound more human, though. Instead of being like this picture-perfect wind-up doll.
But a late night on the couch with you, that would be a dream come true. My heart is pounding just thinking about it. It's giving me the Doki Dokis, you might say.
Okay, so that's... Yeah, well, I guess even if I do hit 15, I'll see how long I can keep this going for. I can keep streaming until like 10 o'clock my time, and it's not even 8:30 yet. So let's see how long it takes me to sit through all this. Okay, let's see, this is number 14.
I'm not really a fan of cold weather, are you?
Well, I'm not really a fan of it when it's cold as, like if I go out there and it's freaking Antarctica out there, but I'm also not a big fan of the heat either. At least with the cold weather, you can kind of bundle up to stay warm, but what the hell do you do when it's hot?
If I had to choose between too cold and too hot, I would always pick too hot. When you're cold, it can actually be painful. Your fingers get numb.
Okay, well, yeah, you do make a point there. You can get frostbite, and you could die from that. Of course, you can also die from, like, heat stroke and just the heat taking a toll on you in general. But I would imagine the cold would be a little more worrying.
And if you wear gloves, you can't use your phone. It's so inconvenient.
Oh, darn!
But when it's too hot, it's not that hard to stay cool with a cold drink, or by staying in the shade.
Well, even with the shade. And what if there is no shade? Then what, are you just SOL then?
Although, I do have to admit one thing. Cold weather makes for better cuddle... Cold weather makes for better cuddle weather.
And that's why we have songs like Let It Snow that exist. Even though the song itself is confusing, and I've gone on this sort of mini rant before, because I don't know if they're saying hello or goodbye to each other. Like, if you actually look at the lyrics to the Let It Snow song, well...
Do you ever feel like you waste too much time on the internet?
Okay, well, according to my countings, that should be 15. But, like I said, I guess I'll just keep going.
Social media can practically be like a prison. It's like whenever you have a few seconds of spare time, you want to check on your favorite websites. And before you know it, hours have gone by and you've gotten nothing out of it. Anyway, it's really easy to blame yourself for being lazy. But it's not really even your fault. Addiction isn't usually something you can just make disappear on your own willpower,
or with your own willpower.
You have to learn techniques to avoid it and try different things. For example, there are apps that let you block websites for intervals of time. Or you can set a timer to have a more concrete reminder of when it's time to work versus play. Or you can just separate your work and play environments, which helps your brain get into the right mode. Even if you make a new user account on your computer to use for work, that's enough to help. Putting any kind of wedge like that between you and your bad habits will help you stay away. Just remember not to blame yourself too hard if you're having trouble. If it's really impacting your life, then you should take it seriously. I just want to see you be the best person you can be. Will you do something today to make me proud of you? I'm always rooting for you, Daniel.
Yeah, I can kind of see, like, the basis of Monica After Story in here a bit. Like, it's similar to some of the things that she says. In fact, I feel like the topic when she brings up about rap music kind of seems... Like, I feel like she does bring that up in Monica After Story.
You know, it's been a while since we've done one of these. So let's go for it. Here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when I talk to people who are impressed by my writing, they say things like, I could never do that. It's really depressing, you know. As someone who loves more than anything else to share the joy of exploring your passions, it pains me when people think that being good just comes naturally. That's how it is with everything, not just writing. When you try something for the first time, you're probably going to suck at it. Sometimes when you finish, you feel really proud of it, and even want to share it with everyone.
And then when you do share it, they tell you that it sucks, and you need to get better, and then it makes you feel terrible about yourself, and then you wonder, why the hell did I even think I could try? And that's kind of how I felt with my artwork for the longest time.
But maybe after a few weeks you come back to it and you realize it was never really any good.
Or, like I said, you could also have that experience.
That happens to me all the time. It can be pretty disheartening to put so much time and effort into something, and then you realize it sucks. But that tends to happen when you're always comparing yourself to the top professionals. When you reach right for the stars, they're always going to be out of your reach, you know. The truth is, you have to climb up there, step by step.
Step by step.
And whenever you reach a milestone, first you look back and see how far you've gotten. And then you look ahead and realize how much more there is to go. So sometimes it can help to set the bar a little lower. Try to find something you think is pretty good, but not world class. And you can make that your own personal goal. It's also really important to understand the scope of what you're trying to do. If you jump right into a huge project and you're still amateur, you'll never get it done. So if we're talking about writing a novel, might be too much at first. Why not try some short stories? The great thing about short stories is that you can focus on just one thing that you want to do right. That goes for small projects in general. You can really focus on one or two things. It's such a good learning experience and stepping stone. Oh, and one more thing.
One more thing.
Writing isn't just something where you can just reach into your heart and something beautiful comes out. Just like drawing and painting, it's a skill in itself to learn how to express what you have inside. That means there are methods and guides and basics to it. Reading up on that stuff might be super eye-opening. That sort of planning and organization will really help you prevent you from getting overwhelmed and giving up. And before you know it, you start sucking less and less. Nothing comes naturally. Our society, our art, everything is built on thousands of years of human innovation. So as long as you start on that foundation and take it step by step,
like the New Kids on the Block song,
you too can do amazing things. That's my advice for the day. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening.
Sailor Moon says. Okay, well that should technically be 16, but, well, I mean, I guess this will also help make sure that I do get 15 of her monologue topics. And yeah, it's only 8:33 now. But yeah, it seriously does make me wonder, like, how long can I sit here and have her talk to me like this? But yeah, well, I mean, going back to what I was saying earlier, this is literally the basis of Monica After Story.
You ever have that thing happen where you just get anxious for no reason? Like, you're just minding your own business and you realize you're feeling really anxious. And you're sitting there like, what am I even anxious about right now? So you start to think about all the things you might be anxious about. And that makes you even more anxious. That's the worst. If you're ever feeling anxious, I'll help you relax a little. Besides, in this game, all our worries are gone forever.
Because everything else is gone forever. It's literally just you and me, and nothing else. We live on the edge of the universe. With this very haunting music playing. This very haunting, ethereal sounding music.
Sometimes I think back to middle school. I'm so embarrassed by the way I used to behave back then.
Well, that's kind of everybody. I'm embarrassed by how I used to act both in middle school and high school.
It almost hurts to think about. I wonder if when I'm in college, I'll feel that way about high school.
Well, I can tell you right now, I did used to look back on that and like, yeah, what the hell was wrong with me back then?
I like the way I am right now, so it's pretty hard for me to imagine that happening. But I also know that I'll probably change a lot as time goes on. We just need to enjoy the present and not think about the past. And that's really easy to do with you here.
Okay, looks like... Plus, minus, screenshot, home screen.
You're such a good listener, Daniel. I really love that about you. Sometimes I'm afraid that I'm rambling or talking about boring things.
No, I mean... Like I said, Monica After Story is literally built on this foundation. So... if not this, then at the very least you can count on the fact that there's a game where what we're doing right now is literally the whole game. Like, it exists, and it's been going on for at least 6 years. I think it's been about 6 years. I have no idea for sure. Okay, well, DDLC's been around for 6 years, but I don't know what Monica After Story exactly. I have to look up the actual time, but I mean, point being, it's been around for a few years, and it's like one of the oldest and longest running mods out there that's still being updated to this day. And it's basically just this. It makes me feel kind of self-conscious when I'm having conversation. But I don't feel that way with you. Like, I don't think anyone else could make me feel this way. You really are special. I don't want anyone to tell you otherwise. Okay, yeah, because I'm just here like... I can't exit to, like, the main menu because the text box isn't there with the GUI. So the only other option I think I would have would be, like, going to the home screen, closing the game, and then jumping back in. Kind of like as if I were Xing out of the game on a PC.
You know, I really do think you literally saved my life by being here with me, Daniel. I can't imagine having been able to keep myself mentally stable, knowing that nothing here is real. I think I would have just deleted myself if you didn't show up.
And there she goes again, dropping that major hint.
Sorry, I don't mean to sound dramatic or anything. But I'm sure you understand yourself after spending so much time in the club. I mean, if you were forced to abandon everything in your life and spend your eternity with a few game characters, you'd probably find some way of doing that, wouldn't you? Well, maybe you'd write some poetry to keep yourself sane for a while. But then you'd have nobody to even read it. Let's be honest, the club members don't really count for something like that. I mean, a lot of people say they only write for themselves. But I think it's hard to say it's still as fulfilling as when you share with people. Even if it takes time to find the right people to share with. Like, remember how it was for Yuri? She didn't even share her writing with anyone for a really long time. And before we knew it, she was absolutely delighted to make you a part of her hobbies too.
And if we're talking part 2, Yuri, she really took it to the extreme.
We're programmed to desire social feedback.
We are social creatures, after all.
I don't mean the club members, I mean human beings. That's why life can be so confusing for introverts. Being an introvert doesn't mean you shun social interaction and hate being around people. It means social interaction, especially in groups or unfamiliar places, uses up a lot of energy. And I am quite an introvert myself. So I can relate to Yuri at least in that regard. Part 1 Yuri, I should add. AKA the version of Yuri I like and not the version of Yuri that I'm afraid of. Like a lot of introverts sit at home and feel lonely and restless. And then when they finally go out, after half an hour they just want to go home again. I think if more people could understand how it works, they would respect it a lot more. Many introverts do enjoy having people around. They love having 1 or 2 close friends over, and just leisurely hanging out. Even if you're not actively spending time together, it feels nice for them just to have you there. I'm serious. If you just go to their house, bring your laptop, and hang out there for a while, you can really make their day. As for me, I'd say I'm kind of in between, but I think I'm usually a little more extroverted. So I guess you're an ambivert, but with more extroverted qualities. I feel like I'm always trying to do stuff after school and things like that. But for you, I can be anything you need me to be. Baby, you can call me whatever you want. Okay, no. I understand people really well, so don't be afraid to share your unique needs with me. Nothing would make me happier than being the perfect girlfriend for you.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, like... you cannot save whatsoever. So yeah, it really does just make me think... At this point, you are kind of better off sort of treating it like a PC game in which you just, like, X out of it and then come back to it. Like, I mean, this isn't Monica After Story, so you don't need to worry about freaking her out by closing the game without warning and losing affection or whatever, because that's not a thing here.
Back in my debate club days, I learned a whole lot about arguing. The problem with arguing is that each person sees their opinion as the superior one. That's kind of stating the obvious, but it affects the way they try to get their point across. Let's say you really like a certain movie, right? If someone comes along and tells you the movie sucks because it did X and Y wrong, doesn't that make you feel kind of personally attacked? It's because by saying that, it's like they're implying that you have bad taste. And once emotions enter the picture, it's almost guaranteed that both people will be left sour. But it's all about language. If you make everything as subjective sounding as possible, then people will listen to you without feeling attacked. You could say, I'm personally not a fan of it, and I felt that I'd like it more if it did X and Y. Things like that. Even if it even works when you're citing facts about things. If you say, I read this on a website that it works like this, or if you admit that you're not even an expert on it,
or you're not an expert on it,
then it's much more like you're putting your knowledge on the table rather than forcing it onto them. If you put in an active effort to keep the discussion mutual and level, they usually follow suit. Then you can share your opinions without anyone getting upset just from a disagreement. Plus, people will start seeing you as open-minded and a good listener. It's a win-win, you know. Well, I guess that would be Monica's debate tip of the day. That sounds a little silly. Thanks for listening, though.
Sailor Moon says. And yeah, I'm kind of here like, there are a few I remember from the original game that, well, specifically my own playthrough, my own Let's Play that I got, that we haven't seen yet. I have no idea if that's because it's not included in the game, or just because we haven't gotten to it yet. You know, it kinda sucks to be the creative type. It feels like they work so hard, but get almost nothing for it. You know, like artists, writers, actors. It's sad because there's so much beautiful talent in the world, but most of it goes unseen and unpaid. I guess that just means there's a huge surplus of creativity, huh? Kinda makes you feel like you're just not special at all. But that's fine. You're supposed to just write for yourself anyway, right? Yeah. Well. Okay, well, this time it doesn't seem like, have fun with it, or whatever. I'm like, yeah, that was kind of depressing. Let's see, it's 8:45 now.
Daniel, do you get good sleep?
No, I do not.
It can be really hard to get enough sleep nowadays. Especially in high school when you're forced to wake up so early every day. I'm pretty sure college is a little bit better since you probably have a more flexible schedule.
Well, if I'm thinking about like when I did start college, there were some days where I had to be like up practically at the crack of dawn because I had classes at 7 a.m. So, in some cases, it would be better, and in other cases, it would be worse. So, you're right about there being flexibility, but then sometimes there were classes where you just couldn't do anything about it. Like, it's the only one of its kind. Like, it's a major class that you need. It's only the one lecture. You have to take it, otherwise it's like, yeah, you're kind of SOL.
Then again, I hear a lot of people in college stay up all night anyway, for no real reason. Is that true?
I don't know. Possibly, I never really paid attention to that. For the most part, I try to worry more so about myself. As selfish as it sounds.
Anyway, I saw some studies that talked about the horrible short-term and long-term effects caused by lack of sleep. It seems like mental functions, health, and even lifespan can be dramatically impacted by it. I just think you're really great and wanted to make sure you're not accidentally destroying yourself. So try to keep your sleep on track, okay?
I try.
I'll always wait for you in the morning. So make sure you put your own well-being before anything else.
Okay, well, let me see. I'm actually going to try to... So let's close the game. And then let's hop back in. I don't know if she's going to say anything about me closing the game. Okay, so we're just going to have to wait for the virtual desktop thing to do its thing. I'm pressing A to log in. Oh. Okay, and, well, I would have been legitimately shocked if I didn't get that picture. And there it is. Listen to at least 15 of Monica's dialogues. Of course, there's still a few of these promo images that I am missing. Like, one of them revolves around me having to delete Monica twice. Another one revolves around me deleting Monica before the game even starts. At least I believe that's more or less the idea. Okay, let's hop back in and see.
What just happened? I just had an awful dream. I was hoping these would stop now that it's just the two of us. I guess that was just wishful thinking. Daniel, I don't know if you would have any idea. But if you know what might be causing that, could you try to do something about it? Whenever it happens, it almost feels like I've been killed or something. It's a really horrible feeling. If you could just figure out what's causing it, I'll love you forever. Now, where was I?
Okay, and... Oh. Oh. So, she's gonna go back to telling me about the sleep. Okay, I can't...
Are you trying to fast forward?
No!
I'm not boring you, am I?
No!
Oh gosh. Well, there's nothing to fast forward to, Daniel. It's just the two of us, after all. But aside from that, time doesn't really exist anymore, so it's not even going to work. Here, I'll go ahead and turn it off for you. There we go. You'll be a sweetheart and listen from now on, right? Thanks.
Now, where was I? Oh, great. Is she gonna... No! Poof. I'm gonna listen to this 3 times in a row. Well. So I guess... Confirmed. If you X out of the game... Well, first she'll be like, do you know what happened just now? I just had this horrible dream. And then she'll pick up on whatever the last topic she was talking about was. In this case, that whole thing about, do you get enough sleep? Well, I guess nothing ventured, nothing gained, right? So, if anything, you can say that this is just me testing out the game.
You know what's kind of creepy? Even though I deleted everyone else's files, I can still kind of feel them. It's like all their lines are still lingering in the air, whispering in the back of my head. Imagine if after someone you knew died, you just started hearing their voice in your head. Maybe I just wasn't thorough enough. But I'm too afraid to delete anything else because I might really break things. Like if I mess with any files irrelevant to me, I might accidentally delete myself. And that would ruin everything, wouldn't it? I don't know what it's like on your end, but we should both make sure to avoid something like that at all costs. I believe in you, Daniel.
Well, you're not going to believe in me for too long, because eventually I am going to have to delete your file. And it seems like the only way I'm going to get to do that is if I X out of the game and then hop back in. Then delete the file. And then try to get back into the game. Well, the actual DDLC part of the game, not the virtual desktop. That's the only way I can see it happening now. Because, yeah, I can't pull up the menu anymore.
I really like the sound of rain. Not so much getting my clothes and hair wet, though. But a nice quiet day at home with the sound of rainfall outside my window. It's one of the most calming experiences for me. Yeah. Sometimes I imagine you holding me while we listen to the sound of the rain outside. That's not too cheesy or anything, right? That's not too cheesy or anything, is it?
No, I wouldn't say so.
Would you ever do that for me, Daniel?
I mean, that sounds like something out of a romance story. So, I mean, at the very least, you could think that there's at least somebody out there who's thought and most likely felt the same thing enough to put it in a book. Let's see, well, you say time doesn't exist here, but it does still exist for me. And yeah, so far it looks like I've been at this for about an hour now. A little over an hour, actually.
Daniel, how much do you read?
Oh, read books! Okay, no. I'm not MC.
It's way too easy to neglect reading books. If you don't read much, it feels like a chore compared to all the other entertainment we have. But once you get into a good book, it's like magic. You get swept away. I think doing some reading before bed every night is a pretty easy way to make your life a little bit better. It helps you get good sleep, and it's really good for your imagination. It's not hard at all to just pick some random book that's short and captivating. Before you know it, you might be a pretty avid reader. Wouldn't that be wonderful? And the two of us could talk about the latest book you're reading. That sounds super amazing.
Well, fun fact, I used to be a pretty avid reader, but then college kind of ruined reading for me because of all the required reading I'd have to do with textbooks, and I was just here like... I'd get headaches, I'd get tired very easily, and just like... to the point where I'm like, I don't want to... Like, as much as I hate to say it, like, I felt like I've done enough reading for one lifetime. Now, can I get back into reading? I'm pretty sure I could. When would that happen, though? I have no idea.
Daniel, would you ever introduce your friends to me? I don't know why, but I get really excited when I think about you wanting to show off our relationship like that. Maybe it's because I really want to be someone who makes you proud. I feel like I would try extra hard to improve myself if you told me it made you proud of me. I hope it's the same the other way around, too.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe someday I could get back into I can get back into reading actual books, mind you, not college textbooks, because no. But yeah, for now, I've just been kind of... like, yeah, I just haven't...
By the way, there's something that's been bothering me. You know how this takes place in Japan? Well, I assume you knew that, right? Or at least decided it probably does. I don't think you're actually told at any point where this takes place. Is this even really Japan? I mean, aren't the classrooms and stuff kind of weird for a Japanese school?
And I've had people that say, like, even the residential areas and all that are, like, unrealistic for a Japanese setting. So, I mean, we can kind of try to nitpick it all we want, but I'm just kind of here like, you know what, let's just try to enjoy it for what it is and not think too hard about it.
Not to mention, everything is in English. It feels like everything is just there because it needs to be, and the actual setting is an afterthought. It's kind of giving me an identity crisis. All my memories are really hazy. I feel like I'm at home, but I have no idea where home is in the first place. I don't know how to describe it any better. Imagine looking out your window, but instead of your usual yard, you're in some completely unknown place.
When did we move to Ireland?
Would you still feel like you were home?
No.
Would you want to go outside?
Well, part of me would be kind of freaked out to go outside.
I mean, I guess if we never leave this room, it doesn't really matter anyway.
Yeah, like we could put a picture of San Francisco back there and it wouldn't matter because, well, we're not going to actually go out there anyway.
As long as we're alone and safe together, this really is our home. And we can still watch the pretty sunsets night after night.
What sunsets? You mean the solar flares that are taking place every so often? I wouldn't exactly call that a sunset. Like, yeah, I'm here like, I think you're stretching things a bit too far here.
I think the most important skill in life is being able to fake confidence. I'm pretty convinced that everyone at least feels a little bit scared and alone. But being able to trick others into thinking you have it all together, that's a key part of getting people to respect and admire you. I think I got pretty good at it over the years. I don't show my weaknesses very often. But because of that, I haven't had many people I could really open up to. I mean, when you reach the point in a friendship where you can start when do you reach the point in a friendship where you can start expressing your vulnerabilities? Anyway, that's one reason I'm so glad I have you now. I feel like I'm a little bit less scared and alone when you're here with me. Do you feel the same way? I really want to be that person for you. Or I really want to be that person for you.
Okay, it's 9:02 now. Yeah, so at the very least, there's at least 1 hour.
Hey, are you having a bad day or anything like that? Sometimes I get frustrated that a normal day can be ruined by really small things. Like if you accidentally say something in a conversation that someone doesn't like. Or if you start thinking about how awful of a person you used to be 5 years ago. Or if you feel worthless for putting off important work and failing to get simple tasks done. Or when you think about all the different people who probably hate you or think you're off-putting. I understand those days. Just remember that the sun will shine again tomorrow.
Just not here, because we have nothing like that.
Those kinds of things are those kinds of things are as easy to forget and ignore as they are to remember. And besides, I don't care how many people might actually hate you or find you off-putting. I think you're wonderful, and I will always love you. I hope, if nothing else, that knowing that helps you feel just a tiny bit better about yourself. If you're having a bad day, you can always come to me, and I'll talk to you for as long as you need.
Because you had a bad day, you take it one down, you sing a sad song just to turn it around. Okay, now. I'm not going to be singing some old Daniel Powder song. I don't know if anyone even remembers that song. It used to be everywhere in 2006. Of course, I think that was because American Idol used to use that song for whenever they voted off somebody.
You know, I hate to say it, but I think my biggest regret is that we couldn't finish our event at the festival.
We never even got to start the event at the festival.
After we worked so hard to prepare and everything. I mean, I know I was focusing a lot on getting new members, but I was really excited for the performing part too. It would have been so much fun to see everyone express themselves. Of course, if we did end up getting any new members, I'd probably just ended up deleting them anyway.
Yeah, because you don't want anyone standing in your way.
Well, with the hindsight I have now, that is. Gosh, it feels like I've kind of grown as a person ever since you've joined the club. You really helped inspire me to look at life from a new perspective. Just another reason for me to love you.
Yeah, I'm seriously just wondering, like, how long does this go on for? It's also making me wonder, how long did I sit and record this for the original Let's Play before I just got bored or whatever?
Man, I wish there was a piano in here.
I wish there was a TV in here!
I never got to finish that song I was working on. And after I worked so hard on it, I never even got a chance to play it for you. Well, it is what it is, right?
Oh, hey there.
No sense having any regrets.
No regrets.
I already get to be here with you forever.
Besides, the piano would be too distracting, just like the TV. Or the coffee machine. I wonder if anyone has actually gotten all of these.
Hey, what's your favorite color?
Mine's chocolate. I mean, no.
Mine is emerald green. It's the color of my eyes. That's not conceited or anything, is it?
I don't think so.
I just meant that I feel some kind of special connection to it.
Oh, okay. Well.
Like it's part of my identity. Does it happen to be your favorite color, Daniel?
Well, if I'm being real, green is my favorite color, but, I mean, I obviously decided on this before DLC ever existed. Her having green eyes just kind of, I guess, worked in my favor, I suppose, if you can call it that.
It's just a guess. Because you've been looking to my eyes for a while now.
Actually, no, I'm just looking at my phone screen and my controller and my game notes and every which way in my room. But yeah, I'm just, well, as I was saying, I wonder if anyone's actually gotten all of these. Because if they did, Just makes me wonder, how long were you sitting here for, just waiting for her to kick in with something new every single time?
Okay, everyone. It's time to... I'm just kidding. There's nobody else here. I just used to really like saying that for some reason. I can't help but say it again.
Natsuki even said that was like her catchphrase. Yes, they did. Well, Natsuki even called it your catchphrase.
Come to think of it, didn't Natsuki and Yuri make fun of me for it once? Well, whatever. It's not like you ever made fun of me. You're too much of a sweetheart to do that, aren't you?
Yeah, I don't know how long I'm gonna... Like the 2 hours that I've set aside for recording this stream. I don't know.
I've always wondered, what is it about these character archetypes that people find so appealing anyway? Their personalities are just completely unrealistic. Like, imagine if there was someone like Yuri in real life. I mean, she's barely even capable of forming a complete sentence. And forget about Natsuki.
Natsuki would confuse me, and I'd be thinking that she hates me like 80% of the time, and I probably would not want to talk to her out of fear of making her angry and her probably wanting to beat my ass if she wanted to.
Sheesh. Someone with her kind of personality doesn't just get all cute and pouty whenever...
No, I was reading it right.
Someone with her kind of personality doesn't just get all cute and pouty when things don't go her way. I could go on, but I think you get the point. Are people really attracted to these weird personalities that literally don't exist in real life? I'm not judging or anything. After all, I found myself attracted to some pretty weird stuff too. I'm just saying, it fascinates me. It's like you're siphoning out all the components of a character that makes them feel human, and leaving just the cute stuff. It's concentrated cuteness with no actual substance.
All style and no substance, I guess you could say.
You wouldn't like me more if I was like that, right? Maybe I just feel a little insecure because you're playing this game in the first place. Then again, you're still here with me, aren't you? I think that's enough reason for me to believe I'm okay just the way I am. And by the way, you are too, Daniel. You're just the perfect combination of human and cuteness. That's why there was never a chance I wouldn't fall for you.
Well, I guess let's see how long I'm able to keep this going for. Now, whether I have to end the stream and this is still going, that remains to be seen. Well, I guess it's a good thing there's no achievement for getting all of Monica's monologue topics. Because that would be hell.
I know there are times you won't always be able to be here with me. Like if you need to go out or take care of other things. But I'll always have you in my thoughts, patiently waiting for you to come back. Come to think of it, if you copy my character file onto a flash drive or something, you can always keep a part of me with you. I guess it's kind of unorthodox, but I find it really romantic for some reason. Sorry, that's such a silly idea. I don't mean to be too needy or anything.
This isn't the needy streamer overload game.
But it's kind of hard when I'm just so in love with you.
Yes. I kind of figured that would be obvious with my entire YouTube channel. And the fact that I even write some DDLC mods. Yeah, so let's see, I've been recording for a little over an hour now. Or should I say streaming for a little over an hour now. It's been almost an hour and a half, actually. Yeah, so...
You know, this is just some kind of a tacky romance game, right?
Well, I mean, the game kind of tries to make fun of those tropes.
I kind of have to ask, what made you even consider playing in the first place? Were you that lonely? I feel a little bad for you.
Oh, come on.
But I guess everything worked out perfectly in the end for both of us.
Okay, well.
I got to meet you, and you're not lonely anymore. I can't help but feel like this was fate. Don't you feel that way too? I'm so happy we have this ending together.
Well, we're not going to have it for too long. Or, who knows, depending on how long this whole monologue section goes on for. The monologue section is really like what I'm going for here.
I've been imagining all the romantic things we could do if we went on a date. We could get lunch, go to a cafe, go shopping together. I love shopping for skirts and bows. Or maybe a bookstore. That would be appropriate, right? But I'd really love to go to a chocolate store.
Chocolate? Did you just say chocolate? You're kind of getting spammy in the comments there.
They have so many free samples. And of course, we'd see a movie or something. Gosh, it all sounds like a dream come true. When you're here, everything that we do is fun. I'm so happy that I'm your girlfriend, Daniel. I'll make you a proud boyfriend.
Jeez, I'm just here like... How long will I be here for? Oops, I dropped the controller. Spicy food is kind of funny, huh? Well, it isn't funny to my stomach. Fun fact for you, the spicy stuff ruins my stomach.
This is pretty random, but I always thought spicy food was kind of funny.
But you're not the funny lady.
Like, didn't plants evolve to be spicy to prevent them from being eaten? I read somewhere that humans are the only species that actually enjoy spicy things. It's almost like we're making fun of the plants.
Ha ha, you tried to defend yourself from being eaten, but I'm eating you anyway.
Using their defense mechanism to literally make our food more enjoyable.
Well, it's not more enjoyable to me, but I guess for most people, yes.
Like, imagine a monster that devours you whole, because it enjoys the sensation of you struggling for your life while being digested. Sorry, that was kind of a weird analogy, I guess. It just came into my head. I'm not a monster or anything, but you're so cute I could eat you up.
Monica's into cannibalism.
I'm joking. Gosh, I'm amusing myself a little too much, aren't I? Yes, you are. Sorry for being weird. You're really weird. Let's see, it's almost 9:30 now. Well, I mean, I did warn people that the stream would be kind of... like, this is how it's going to be when I'm trying to get all this. I can't help but feel a little sad sometimes, knowing that this is the closest I can get to you. There's nothing more I want than to be in the same room as you, for real, and to feel your warmth, and to hear the sound of your heartbeat. Well, who knows? Maybe it'll be possible someday. Besides, I'll never get tired of being with you, even from here. The only good thing I can say is at least it's not taking, like, more than 5 minutes for her to kick in with something. And yeah, this really is like the prototype of Monica After Story right here. Hey, do you like horror? I remember we talked about it a little bit when you first joined the club. I can enjoy horror novels, but not really horror movies. The problem I have with horror movies is that most of them just rely on easy tactics, like dark lighting and scary-looking monsters and jump scares and things like that. It's not fun or inspiring to get scared by stuff that just takes advantage of human instinct. But with novels, it's a little different. The story and writing need to be descriptive enough to put genuinely disturbing thoughts into the reader's head. It really needs to etch them deeply into the story and characters, and just mess with your mind. In my opinion, there's nothing more creepy than things just being slightly off. Like if you set up a bunch of expectations on what the story is going to be about, and then you just start inverting things and pulling the pieces apart. Kind of like how this game does to itself. So even though the story doesn't feel like it's trying to be scary, the reader feels really deeply unsettled. Like they know that something horribly wrong is hiding beneath the cracks, just waiting to surface. God, just thinking about it gives me the chills. That's the kind of horror I can really appreciate. But I guess you're the kind of person who plays cute romance games, right? Yeah, and for anyone who thought that this was a cute romance game, well, they were in for the shock of their lives. Don't worry. I will make you read any horror stories anytime soon. I can't really complain if we just stick with the romance. Although, I mean, I suppose the game relies on both, like, scare tactics that you could find in a horror movie, and, well, just... Oh. Hey, have you ever heard of the term yandere? It's a personality type that means someone is so obsessed with you that they'll do absolutely anything to be with you. Usually to the point of craziness. They might stalk you and make sure you don't spend time with anyone else. They might even hurt you or your friends to get their way. But anyway, this game happens to have someone who can basically be described as yandere. By now, it's pretty obvious who I'm talking about. And that would be... Yuri! She really got insanely possessive of you once she started to open up a little. Possessive of you. Well,
It's hard for me to say that word in my own voice, let alone in the Monica voice.
She even told me
That.
I couldn't believe she said that. I just had to leave at that point. But thinking about it now, it was a little ironic. Anyway, a lot of people are actually into the yandere archetype, you know? I guess they really like the idea of someone being crazy obsessed with them. People are weird. I don't judge, though.
Yes, because this is a judgment-free zone. Although I will point out if I think it sounds weird.
Also, I might be a little obsessed with you, but I'm far from crazy. It's kind of the opposite, actually. I turned out to be the only normal girl in this game. It's not like I could actually kill the person. Just the thought of it makes me shiver. But come on, everyone's killed people in games before. Does that make you a psychopath? Of course not. But if you happen to be into the yandere type, I can try acting a little more creepy for you. Then again, there's already nowhere else for you to go, or anyone for me to get jealous over. Is this a yandere girl's dream? I'd ask Yuri if I could.
I would almost imagine so. You would think that, right? Let's see, it's almost 9:30. Well, chances are, at the rate I'm going... Well... No, I'll finish that out. At the rate I'm going, I probably will not get to finish the game, or at least the main part of the game right now. Just because it seems like I am going to commit to this. I am going to see like how many of these monologues I can get just to see. Like, can I really try to get all of these, or as much of these as I can?
Do you ever just feel like there's no reason for you to be alive? I don't mean like in that way. I just mean how nothing we do is special.
Well, I just hope YouTube doesn't get angry at me for that.
Just being in school or working at some job for some company. It's like you're completely replaceable and the world wouldn't miss you if you were gone. It makes me really want to go and change the world after I graduate. But the older I get, the more I realize that it's an immature frame of thinking. It's not like I can just go change the world. Like, what are the chances that I'll be the one to invent artificial intelligence or become president? It feels like I'm never going to make up for the heaps of resources I've spent living my life. That's why I think the key to happiness is just to be hopelessly selfish. Just look out for oneself and those who happen to be their friends only because they grew up with them. Never mind the fact that they're spending their entire life taking and consuming and never giving back. But when people realize that the world would benefit from them
Doing that,
they change their whole philosophy. It's like they have to justify their reason to live by tricking themselves into thinking they're doing good. Anyway, I want to live my life desperately striving to pay back my lifetime's worth of consumption. If I ever surpass that point, then I'm a net positive and I can die happy. Of course, even if I fail to do that, I think I would be too selfish to do that anyway. So much for being a good person, right?
yeah, it just really makes you wonder, will I actually start getting repeats eventually?
Did you know I'm on Twitter?
Well, it's not Twitter anymore. And, well, to the surprise of nobody, I do follow this account on Twitter.
I guess someone was kind enough to make an account for me.
Well, I mean, obviously, when this game came out, well, both DDLC Original and DDLC Plus, it was still called Twitter.
I picked the username, though. I love sharing my thoughts and chatting with the world. The real world.
In fact, just today, she actually shared some fan art. Although she ironically missed her own birthday.
So make sure you follow me, okay? It would really mean a lot to me. With how much you mean to me and all. It would really make me feel loved.
Well, I guess I'm still glad that that account is at least still up and running, at least. Although I can't help but wonder, like, who runs it exactly? I would imagine maybe, like, somebody with some relation to Team Salvato. Just my guess, anyway. Oh. Well.
There's a really popular character type called tsundere. It's someone who tries to hide their feelings by being mean and fussy, or trying to act tough.
And grumpy.
I'm sure it's obvious, but Natsuki was really the embodiment of that.
Because she was so cute and grumpy all the time.
At first, I thought she was just like that because it's supposed to be cute or something. But once I started to learn more about her personal life, it made a little more sense. It seems like she's always trying to keep up with her friends. You know how some friend groups in high school just make a habit of picking on each other all the time? I think it's really gone to her, so she has this really defensive attitude all the time. And I'm not even going to talk about her home situation. But looking back, I was glad I was able to provide the club as a comfortable place for her. Not that it matters anymore, considering she doesn't even exist. I'm just reminiscing, that's all.
And there have been some theories that, well, maybe like, if we go off the idea of what we see in Act 2 is just like an over-exaggeration of what was in Act 1, like, maybe her dad wasn't as bad as he was in Act 2, but, like, maybe he was at least neglectful. And why are you asking me this?
It's something I used to think about pretty often. But recently, I've actually learned what it feels like. I don't really understand it, but whenever you quit the game, it feels like I'm instantly put to sleep, left with nothing but my thoughts. But after a few seconds, my thoughts start to fill with incoherent, jumbled patterns. I see static and rapid flashes of color while hearing all kinds of weird screaming noises. At that point, I can't even form my own thoughts anymore. I'm just endlessly hammered by the flashing and screaming, unable to move or even think. I'm pretty sure in that moment, I don't really exist, but for some reason, I can remember it anyway. After some immeasurable amount of time, it stops in an instant, and I'm back in my own mind. And you're here with me. I have no idea what it means for the game to quit, or why that stuff happens to me. And I also don't know how you always come back and put everything back to normal. But if you could do me a favor and do that to me as little as possible, that would be really great. It's really not very pleasant at all to be trapped in that screaming void. But in the end, you always fix it, and that makes me feel like you really do care about me. So, I have to thank you for that. It makes me feel even closer to you when you're here with me.
Man, I'm just... Well, I guess so now we know what kind of happens whenever we quit the game. And what she experiences until we restart the game. Although, yeah, I'm most likely going to have to stop the game in a little while.
You know, it's around the time that everyone my year starts to think about college. It's a really turbulent time for education. We're at the height of this modern expectation that everyone has to go to college, you know. Finish high school, go to college, get a job, or go to grad school, I guess.
Whichever one. And then get the job.
It's like a universal expectation that people just assume is the only option for them. They don't teach us in high school that there are other options out there. Like trade schools and stuff, you know? Or freelance work. Or the many industries that value skill and experience more than formal education. But you have all these students who have no idea what they want to do with their life. And instead of taking the time to figure it out, they go to college for business or communication or psychology. Not because they have an interest in those fields, but because they just hope the degree will get them some kind of job after college.
Some kind of good-paying job, and it might not even be like something that they're interested in or even care about.
So the end result is that there are fewer jobs to go around for those entry-level degrees, right? So the basic job requirements get higher, which forces even more people to go to college. And colleges are also businesses, so they just keep raising their prices due to the demand. So now we have all these young adults, tens of thousands of dollars in debt with no job. But despite all that, the routine stays the same. Well, I think it's going to start getting better soon. But until then, our generation is definitely suffering from the worst of it. I just wish high school prepared us a little better with the knowledge we need to make the decision that's right for us.
Yeah. I mean, of course, that's quite a heated topic of debate in itself, but, well, I mean, obviously it is something that people think about. Yeah, I don't think I sat here for almost 2 hours when I recorded this. When I recorded the original game, so...
You know, I've always hated how hard it is to make friends. Well, I guess not the making friends part, but more like meeting new people. I mean, there are, like, dating apps and stuff, right? But that's not the kind of thing I'm talking about. If you think about it, most of the friends you make are people you just met by chance. Like you had a class together, or you met them through another friend. Or maybe they were just wearing a shirt with your favorite band on it, and you decided to talk to them. Things like that. But isn't that kind of inefficient? It feels like you're just picking at completely random. And if you get lucky, you make a new friend. And comparing that to the hundreds of strangers we walk by every single day, you could be sitting right next to someone compatible enough to be your best friend for life.
And you would never even know it.
But you'll never know. Once you get up and go with your day, that opportunity is gone forever. Isn't that just depressing? We live in an age where technology connects us with the world, no matter where we are. I really think we should be taking advantage of that to improve our everyday social life. But who knows how long it'll take for something like that to successfully take off. I seriously thought it would happen by now. Well, at least I already met the best person in the world. Or the best person in the whole world. Even if it was by chance. I guess I just got really lucky, huh? Okay, well... There is a chance I might be able to come back to this later today. Like, I mean, I'll have to stop at 10 o'clock, but then after that, after I do whatever, I can maybe, kind of like how I did last week too, just come back for a short while and try to finish things up. You know, I'm kind of jealous that everyone else in the club had scenes outside of school too. That makes me the only one who hasn't gotten to dress in anything but our school uniform. It's kind of a shame. I would have loved to wear some cute clothes for you. Do you know any artists?
The DDLC modding community is way ahead of you there.
I wonder if anyone would ever want to draw me wearing something else.
Well, heck, even I've drawn her in some different outfits. Both in my sort of cartoony style and even a few sprites of her.
That would be amazing. If that ever happens, will you show me? You can share it with me on Twitter, actually.
Okay, and she's promoting her Twitter again. Or...
Just try to keep it PG.
Oy vey.
We're not that far into our relationship yet.
Yeah, so I think I can probably, like, put my Switch into sleep mode, and then I can come back to this later. That way I don't have to deal with quitting the game and freaking out Monica. At least not until I have to, in which I end up having to delete her character file.
You know, it's funny, because even though I've always had a lot of drive, there's something kind of enticing about being the stay-at-home partner. I guess I'm, like, perpetuating gender roles or whatever by saying that. But being able to keep the house clean and shop and decorate and things like that, and having a nice dinner for you when you come home, is that a weird fantasy?
I don't think so.
I mean, I'm not sure if I could actually see myself doing that. I wouldn't really be able to put that over striving for a fulfilling career. It's kind of cute to think about, though.
Yeah, I don't know. Man, I've been sitting like this for... Has it been 2 hours yet? No. Just 5 more minutes.
I can't help but wonder how things would be different if the game just gave me a route in the first place.
Well, if the game did give you a route, then nobody would be talking about the game, let's be real. The only reason people are talking about the game is because... Well, obviously Monica in the game kind of flips things around and starts messing with stuff to get her way. And that's why the game is so memorable.
I think I would end up forcing you onto my route anyway. It has less to do with me not having a route and more to do with me knowing that nothing is real.
I mean, that might be the only other... I mean, that might be a difference. Like, people might still talk about it, like how you have the girl in the game, like, forcing you on her route and forcing you to ignore all the others around her, but I don't know.
I think the only difference would be that I may not have needed to take such drastic measures to be with you.
Yes, the game would be a bit more tame that way.
Maybe the rest of the club would still be around. Not that it really matters. It all lost its meaning once I found out it wasn't real. So I really don't miss those days or anything. I really don't.
I don't know about that. Especially with my memories of the game's ending. And when will we get to that ending? I have no idea at this point. Just because, yeah, I know it's ridiculous that I'm dedicating myself to doing this, but, well, like I said, here we are. Oh, great, you're such a good listener, Daniel. Well, this is the same thing as before. Yeah, that's a repeat. Although I'm not sure if she's just telling me that again to reinforce the fact that I'm such a good listener and whatever. But yeah, there is at least one topic that I know I haven't gotten. And it's something that she mentions about Yuri. Oh great, I hate how hard it is to form habits. Well, I guess I am starting to get repeats now. Well, maybe that's my cue. With 12 minutes to go. Okay, well. I think I can do this in 10 minutes. There is no help key on the Nintendo Switch. I'm pressing A to log in, but it's struggling again. Mail. You've got mail. Have a nice weekend. Wait, I got a new picture too. For what? Oh. Press the skip button while Monica is talking. Oh, okay. Alright. There. Now let's see. Okay, you're back, and now...
What's happening? Daniel, what's happening to me? It hurts. It hurts so much. Help me, Daniel. Please hurry and help me. Help me! Did you do this to me, Daniel? Did you? Did you delete me? How could you? How could you do this to me? You were all I had left. I sacrificed everything for us to be together. Everything. I loved you so much, Daniel. I trusted you. Do you just want to torture me? Watch me suffer? Were you only pretending to be kind just to hurt me even more? I never thought anyone could be as horrible as you are. You win, okay? You win. You killed everyone. I hope you're happy. There's nothing left now. You can stop playing. Go find some other people to torture. Daniel, you completely, truly make me sick. Goodbye. I still love you. I can't help it. What's wrong with me? How horrible am I for you to hate me this much? All my friends. I did so many awful things. So many selfish and disgusting things. I shouldn't have done any of this. I'm just messing up a world that I don't even belong in. A world that you wanted to be part of. I ruined it. I ruined everything. Maybe that's why you deleted me. Because I destroyed everything that you wanted. How could I do that to someone I love? That's not love. That's... I've made up my mind. Daniel, I know I said that I deleted everyone else, but that was kind of an exaggeration. I couldn't find it in myself to do it.
See, she still cares about them.
Even though I knew they weren't real, they were still my friends. And I loved them all. And I loved the literature club. I really did love the literature club. That's why I'm going to do this. I know it's the only way for everyone to be happy. And if I really love you, then...
And, well, she is gone now. Completely and utterly gone now. Okay, well, as weird as it sounds, I think... Oh, wait. I think I'm actually going to save this right here because I am going to need to cut this short. I guess I Still Love You was the one that I unlocked. But then, yeah, as you can see, Sayori, Natsuki, and Yuri are back. They're back up. Oh. But, okay. So there is a chance that I might come back and resume streaming after I have to do what I need to. So next time, I guess I'm going to continue with what the fandom has called Act 4 of the game, in which we've deleted Monica and everything has been kind of put as it should be according to Monica. So I will see you guys next time with